I was first exposed to prophetic at a young age. I would say around the age of 14. Our church, I grew up Kojic, Church of God in Christ, which then was very traditional, but we were exposed to prophetic leaders, pastors. Our prophetic came, was interesting. We didn't have the government, we didn't have the teams, we didn't have the teaching. So our prophetic was birthed in our church through testimony service. People would get up, they would testify, they would get excited, they would speak in tongues, and it was kind of funny because people would speak in tongues for maybe a whole minute and only give a sentence of prophetic utterance, but that's how we came up, and that's how we started. And my grandmother would have these family prayers, and we would gather, and that's when I would see the prophetic and work, prophetic at work as well. We would pray together, and God would release a word, and that's my first exposure to the prophetic. The prophetic has changed my life. It has been in every area of my life. My childhood, I got saved at the age of 14, high school student with my math book, English book, and my Bible, public speaking classes, talking about God, sensing God. It was at that time that I began to discern atmospheres, and it was something new to me. It was something I didn't understand, but as I grew in the prophetic, I realized that God gave me the ability to discern atmospheres. And so that grew. It helped me be a father. It helped me hear the voice of the Lord regarding rearing my sons and daughters. It helped me be a husband. It blessed me with a business. My business, I said earlier, came through a prophetic word. I was working at a bank, making a living. I mean, not a great living, but it was through the prophetic word that I started my business. And that's been 30 years later. Throughout those 30 years of having my business, there have been times that I've made moves, not because of market trends, not because of anything I heard on a business channel, but I made moves simply from the voice and the leading of God. It has affected our church. I surely would not have started a church without the prophetic, because I didn't want to pastor. And it was a prophetic ministry at a round table in Chicago that someone came to me, dealt with my objections, dealt with my fear, dealt with my reluctance, spoke specifically to me in detail about starting a church. So without the prophetic, I wouldn't be here talking about the prophetic. One word I gave to a leader of a church who had never ministered out of the state. And I prophesied to her. I said, doors in Ohio and other states, and I named the state specifically, are going to open to you. No invite, no relationships at that point, and it was just really a matter of a couple years that when we crossed paths, she said, you know, I'm ministering in Ohio, I'm ministering in those states that you prophesied about. Another one was an unborn child, a young couple that were expecting, and I prophesied over the child, and that the child would travel globally, and they ended up on assignment in Abu Dhabi and in the Middle East, and just a tremendous word. I remember one word. We were praying for kids to go back to school, and we were having that service of just praying for kids, and I gave a word to my daughter, and I said, I don't know if you guys plan on having a baby, but I see a child being born, and I gave her some specifics regarding that word. That was on a Sunday. Thursday, she found out she was pregnant. Then the last one, an example is I gave a young lady a word. Her parents were present in the service. Matter of fact, they had just visited the service. I think it was their second time visiting. And I gave the young lady a word. I said, there's some scholarship opportunities going to open up to you. It's not going to be the first one, it's going to be the second one. And later on, opportunities opened at the school. She applied for the first one, and she was denied. The second one is the one she really wanted, but they told her, said, listen, there's a waiting list, and chances are you're not going to get this. But her mom went back to that prophetic word, and and she applied for the second one, and God moved her application to the top of the stack. So those are memorable words, and I thank God for everyone. People from every level of the prophetic, every level of exposure, every level of experience can expect to increase their confidence to increase. They can expect for their boldness to go to another level. They can expect for the sensitivity to the voice of the Lord, the unctions from the Spirit of God to increase in their life. Sometimes we need fresh and new activation. Sometimes being in the company of prophetic people like Saul shifts us to another level. As we come together in the intensives, people will know that God speaks to every believer, not just ministers and apostles and prophets, pastors, teachers, evangelists, but His Spirit is a spirit of prophecy. So people can expect to be charged, to be challenged, all levels, and emerge with a greater sensitivity, a renewed confidence, and a greater boldness. That's what they can expect to receive.